I might need to turn my head. Hold on, let me take my headphones off then, because I don't know if it'll record y'all voices with that. No. All right, and let's do it. Let's get it all set up right now. Turn on camera, blur, boom, and then let's go here with it. All right, what's today? July 11th. Trap phone, July 11th, man. Friday, we talking crypto, talking profits, talking wins. Okay, so um, yeah, so right we talking about Bitcoin. So since Bitcoin is breaking out of what we thought was an a reaccumulation range, now at this point we got to decide: can we start buying and getting greedy and buying more, or should we be patient and is price going to actually reverse and drop back down? So what we need to see, what we're anticipating is somebody might need to mute themselves. It's not too loud, but I hear a little background noise. But what we might need to see, what we need to see is price pull back to retest this supply zone. All right. So remember, it's always when you're looking at trading the charts, it's a war, right? And it's a war between bulls and bears. All right. So this supply zone just got flipped. This was bearish territory. Territory just got flipped. Bearish territory just got flipped. So that turns this supply zone technically into a demand zone. All right. So I'm gonna just redraw this as a demand zone. All right. So now, if this is a demand zone, that means it got to be respected. Bull territory should be. They claimed it. It got to be respected. And matter of fact, I was just on there with Sensei Mark Marshall. Like, shout out Bankroll. Just, we walk in your trap, take over your trap. All right. So supply zone just got taken over. Well, let's see if you can really stand your ground. Right. Once you win the belt, the championship, you're a champion. Niggas want to come take your belt. Let's see if you can really defend your belt. So we want to see this level has to hold. If price action is able to return back under 112,000, because that was the previous all-time high. If price returns back under 112,000, then that was this whole all of this action up here was fake. It was a fake out. All right. And if it's a fake out, then that means so we got two situations. The first one I just drew is if this is a legit breakout, price will hit this demand zone, bounce up, and start to make new all time highs, and then we enter the golden age of crypto. Otherwise, because you always got to play antagonist with your bias. Otherwise, what'll happen is price will drop back down here into this range, and it'll probably drop kind of deeper under 112,000. Then it'll retest this demand zone. But now, if price goes back down here, this is not a demand zone. It's now a supply zone again because it got flipped. And then price will return and do something like this, play around at that 50%. But then eventually it'll come down here to what I'm calling the test of sign of weakness. All right, so I'm gonna just let's change the color on that. This is our bearish possibility, and then this up here is our bullish possibility. All right, I'm gonna pause there. Any questions about that? Comments? Anything? Because this key. This mean a lot for us right now. So we need to figure out. We need confirmation to really know what we can do. Any comments, thoughts? Which y'all any
So what are
opposing?
you looking for when confirmation? Like what do you like for you? What would be confirmation for you?
Confirmation for me is price comes, and let's go down to time frames because I'm on the daily, right? I like to read that 4 hour for my confirmations. All right, and this is beautiful. To me, I'm really biased, bro. Like I'm still trying to keep myself neutral, but I'm really bullish on this shit. This is a breakout, bro. But my final confirmation will be a retest of this demand zone, and that retest holds. All right, so you see, first rule of confirmation is two candles closed above the key level. The key level was, of course, the previous high or high, which was also all time high. Boom, one candle closed above it. Really, a couple. One candle, two candle, three, four, five. We got five bull candles on a 4 hour time frame that closed above the previous all time high. That was enough confirmation for me because that's a sign of bullish volume, and we're not supposed to see bullish volume at a supply zone. So, matter of fact, let me change this back to supply zone to paint the picture. We're not supposed to see bullish volume up here. There's supposed to be bearish volume up here because this is a supply zone. But bulls blasted through it with no effort. So, um, the final confirmation will be a retest back to this supply zone, and if this supply zone is respected and price can't get back under it, that means this is actually a demand zone now. That'll be the final. So what I'm anticipating when price gets down here, regardless, I'm gonna buy. I'm a buy. I'm not gonna be aggressive or nothing with it. No need to be aggressive, but I am gonna buy a decent amount. You know what I'm saying? So if you're trading it, if you're doing the bluefin trading, I'd probably actually go 20% risk right here. 10 to 20% risk at.
So if you had $100 in your pocket, you'll put $20 towards it when it hit that area.
If I had $100 in my trading account,
Yeah.
yes, trading account. If I, because you gotta ask the question specifically now, right? Because we know trading mentality, and investing mentality is different. If I had $100,
Investing.
if investing, I'm dropping that whole hundred because it don't. I'm patient. It don't matter. Investing wise, it don't matter if I was dead ass wrong. I would spend my whole hundred right here, and if price kept dropping and going lower, I don't care. I'm investing. I'm holding this shit for 5 years, 5 years. What is Bitcoin we talking? I'm holding this forever. You feel me? So it don't matter. It only matters to necessarily be right and be good with your timing with trading. That
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, smooth. So I'm looking at it like this. I take my entry here. I put my stop loss somewhere down. Let's see. Price shouldn't be able to break. This was the higher. Hold on. Let's look at it this way. Line graph. Yeah, this is really the higher low right here. I'll put my stop loss right here. Oh, let's go under the wick. I put my stop loss right here, and then take profit. Shit. Yeah, so this will be a new experience for y'all. But basically, what Bitcoin is finna enter is price discovery. Price discovery is when an asset breaks its all-time high, and then because now your question is like if I ask y'all this question, yo, where should I put this take profit? Does anybody have an answer where I should put this take profit?
Nah, because it had high before.
Right. We have no idea. We have to price has to discover a new zone of supply or a new zone of resistance. We don't even know where resistance is yet because we just broke the final line of resistance. So that's what they call price discovery. So now, and which is dope because that means this shit can go as high as it want to. We have no idea where people will be like, yo, Bitcoin's too expensive. I'm selling it. And this the thing too, the price discovery level where resistance might get found, but it might be so insanely high because we're not talking about regular people and retail investors being invested now. We remember we got banks and countries involved, presidents, banks, Federal Reserve buying crypto. They timeline and patience is on a whole nother level. You get what I'm saying? They not individuals. They not trading this shit to try and make some money and pay no bills. They doing this shit to feed a country. You know what I'm saying? To buy land, to prepare for war, buy bombs and buy tanks and fuel their army. They patience level and they take profit zones are astronomical compared to us. So this shit can go. Who knows? Who knows how high it can go? Yeah, I'm gonna just pause right there for a second. Comments, questions, thoughts, anything? Oh, let me unmute Crypto Goddess. Um, yeah, no, I just want to pause right there before I say anything more.
So, so now that we see, I know Bitcoin is king, and wherever he go, the rest of the crypto go.
Right.
So, how do you think we about to be playing out over the course of this period during this bull run?
How are we gonna play? Or you said sweet?
No, Sweet.
Oh, sweet.
How Sweet going?
All right. So Bitcoin is king. Everybody follows the king, right? So first of all, again, so if Bitcoin is going into price discovery, that sends everything else into price discovery. Going over to Swede, this is the Swede chart right now, and Swede look mad crazy right now. My bad, I got these drawings. Let me hide some stuff. Erase this fib. Yeah, I'm gonna erase that fib. I'm gonna just kind of explain because I got these drawings up here to make sure y'all see it. Y'all not, because I know I don't want y'all to see too much, but it was good trading painter. But y'all are aware of POCs. POCs are just key levels of money, highest concentration of money in a market. All right, so I got all these POCs. I'm not finna erase them. I'm keeping them up there because they are important. I'm gonna erase this because I was doing some trading talk right there, and I'm gonna erase this. No, I'm gonna keep that. All right, so with Sweet, if Bitcoin's gonna enter price discovery, that means Sweet is gonna enter price discovery. Price discovery for Sweet is $5. So that means Sweet is finna push all the way up here. Look at mind you, this how long we've been in Sweet, bro. Y'all probably didn't forgot where our actual take profit is for Sweet. This shit all the way up here, bro, at $5.37. So if Bitcoin stays in price discovery, everything else, which is altcoins, what Compound was saying, altcoins would just mean anything that is alternate of Bitcoin. Everything go into price discovery. Everything. So that means we not shaving off no profit for SWE until we get back up to all time high $5.37. And then after that, SWE and all altcoins should enter price discovery. And then at that point, I really had no answer for you, bro. That shit can go up to whatever we say might be an underestimation. You know what I'm saying? So we just gonna have to continue to play it by ear as we go towards the future. Cause once we break $5.37, man, I don't know. The best thing I can tell you is just like psychological levels, which would be like $7.50. You know what I'm saying? Just cause like the way Sweet be moving, 2.5, $5, 7.5, $10, 12.5, shit like that. But I really don't know. This the channel I got for Sweet. Hold on, my bad. I'm on the daily. Let me go weekly. This the higher time frame channel. I'm gonna erase these drawings. This what I got for Sweet. You know what I'm saying? So we break that all time high, bro. I really don't know how high we can go. We just got to play it by ear.
Yeah, do a market cap comparison, bro. That's the best way to tell for price discovery.
You said I have to do a market cap compare. Oh, facts. Matter of fact, let's go. I ain't looked at that in a minute. What is the market cap right now? Sweet is at
Was it 10 billion or something?
11 billion. Oh, 12, almost 12 billion. So Sweet's basically at 12 billion. Bro, what the fuck? Hyperliquid is above Sweet.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me, bro.
Hyperliquid is crazy. It's like a Luna Ponzi, but we get into that another day.
Yeah. It's an anomaly, bro.
Right now, I haven't been buying Hyperliquid, bro. I gotta get back on that. Oh,
Hyperliquid is an anomaly, bro. I have no idea how to really base it. It's so. I'm not gonna get into it because it's no way to short talk Hyperliquid. That shit is unique.
I think that's a good target though, right? 15 million, 12 to 15. That's probably gonna be your next all-time high.
For Sweet, you think? Maybe.
Just short term, right?
Yeah, short term, yeah, for sure. But yeah, me looking at this, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't looked at the top 10, 15 in a while. This shit it's bothering me. Look at Dogecoin, my nigga. Dogecoin number 8, Tron number 9, Cardano. I'm salty. I ain't gonna lie, Sweet. We gotta go get that.
Trump need to start getting his coin pumping.
Oh, talking about his Trump coin. I don't know if he will, bro. He might, cause remember he gotta play it dumb. He the president. He can't just be pushing meme coins. You know what I'm saying? Remember they asked him about Trump coin and he was like, "Nigga, I have no idea what y'all talking about." He gotta play dumb with it. What's good, Marsha? Yeah, it was nice. Full house. We got
check that Sweet BTC chart, bro.
Sweet what chart?
Bitcoin.
Oh, Sweet Bitcoin. I bet. Yeah, that's a good thing to look at. Let's go check that out. This would be good lesson for some of y'all other new traders. Because y'all are all probably used to like whenever you're looking at stocks or anything, you're always looking at that asset. Remember, it's an asset pair, and we're always normally looking at our asset versus the U.S. dollar. But you can look at an asset versus an asset, right? So what Compound saying, we finna look at Sweet Bitcoin. So what this is saying, we're looking at the value of Sweet versus Bitcoin. And so if we see that Sweet is bullish versus Bitcoin, then that means Sweet finna go on a mean run. It like if Sweet is bullish versus Bitcoin, then it's damn show. That means it's melting U.S. dollar.
Then that means that people are trading Bitcoin for sweet.
Right. So clearly accumulate. Let's chart this up. I ain't never charted this before. Let's chart this on my high indicators, but we'll keep up drawings. So shoot, clearly, easily we in a range. I don't know how to put the top of the range just because it looked mad wild, right? Like that crazy spike right there. But let's just go here. Okay, we can rock out with that. Let's say this top of the range. And then let's say this bottom of the range. And then let's say we had a deviation right here. And then that we might potentially deviate above in a minute. Alright, so I'm gonna go like that. Alright, so this is what we're working with so far. And this looks good. So since we already hit the bottom of the range, price move. So if I'm looking at this, it's kind of hard to tell where we at with accumulation, but this might have been the sign of weakness. This might have been the sign of strength. This drop down here might have been the sign of the test sign of weakness. And so we might be pushing up to make a sign of strength. So it looked like we could end up doing something like this. Pushing up to the top. And we should deviate a little bit. It might not just break out, but it might deviate.
Hey, I just checked Mars. Mars at $19, bro.
19?
Yeah, bro. I called that shit, bro.
Good shit,
But
boy.
I did want you to go over some fib, bro. So if you could, like, maybe put some fib on this, bro. I'm not really watching, bro. I'm listening, bro. So if you could just tie some fib into this Bitcoin suite and what to do at each level, bro, I'm going to just keep listening.
Oh, you trying to get out your trade? Okay.
No, I'm not trying to get out. No, I'm just busy, bro. I'm just running around, bro.
Word. Okay. Yeah, we'll go look at Mara, definitely. Just remind me.
I got.
So yeah, it's looking like we could potentially do this. Because if Bitcoin, if crypto's bullish, then that means Sweet's bullish, and we'll see a push back up to the high side of this range, which would be good. Not much information here though yet. It ain't getting so. But this is, I will say this though, this right here, we can't really do nothing or play nothing off of this yet because it's still just ranging. But this is a great sign for us that like we still early on Sweet because Sweet is still accumulating. Right, so eventually, we already know the rules of trading. An accumulation range, eventually there's going to be a breakout. Sweet has never had a breakout versus Bitcoin. So when we get this breakout, oh my God. Like, Sweet going to do crazy numbers, bro. So,
What do you say when you say we never has had a Bitcoin breakout versus Bitcoin?
So this chart we're looking at is Sweet versus Bitcoin. We're not looking at Sweet versus US dollar right now. Sweet versus US dollar is bullish. When we look at that chart, we have a bullish channel. We know it's clearly bullish. But versus Bitcoin, Sweet hasn't outpaced or outperformed Bitcoin ever since it's existed.
Oh, shit.
Right. And I'll show you. So I know that sounds kind of crazy. Like, what you mean a coin outperforming Bitcoin? That happens. Altcoins go on little runs. I'll show you. Check out Soul Bitcoin. Look at this. This is Solana versus Bitcoin. Look at this Solana run right here. Shit went dumb right here. Like this bull run right here.
Yep.
Matter of fact, let's get the time period. Do I want to do the time period? Yeah, let's do it. All right, so I'm gonna just do this little run right here, cause this one was mad aggressive. This was over the course of 42 days. and it started July 26, 2021, and it ended September 6, 2021. So that was what? July to September, that's 2 months. So now watch this, how this connects. So now we're gonna go look at Solana slash USD. Watch how Solana performed against the US dollar from July 21 to September 21. Solana July 21 was good, Brody. I'm in class right now. We'll be done in like 20 minutes. I'll hit you back. All right, so July 21, Solana, bro, this crazy. Actually, this right here, bro, compound. This one Zion got rich. Who all on here right now? Do niggas? All right, I'm trying to see who else knows Zion in here. All right, so compound, you know about Zion. Market Martian and Sensei, y'all know Zion. I don't know if y'all ever met Z like that, but y'all know Zion, that alpha from Georgia Tech. He got rich off of Solana. And it was during this period of time right here. Cause I remember I was in San Antonio, and this one we learned to stop fading that nigga his tweets, cause that nigga know what he be talking about. So same period of time from July 2021, Solana was at the highest point in July. Solana was $29.51, so basically $30. In the span of 2 months, Solana ran up to $216, bro.
What I learned from him, bro, is that this is the way to really catch the bottom of altcoins.
Yeah.
You got to see if the altcoin is bottoming versus the dollar and BTC, bro. You got a full scale on that.
Yeah, facts. No, I'm glad you brought that up.
That sweet chart
Yeah.
put in the chat. If they both at the bottom of the channel, or if they both, bro, that shit is guaranteed.
Wait, so what y'all saying is, this on the monthly chart? So if they're sitting at the bottom, any channel on any like time frame, and it's like Bitcoin and US dollar, you pretty much load the boat.
Yeah, pretty much. What you want to see is both pairs bottom out. So you want to see the asset bottom out versus the dollar, but most.
Yes.
It's going to flow to Bitcoin first, and then it's going to flow from Bitcoin to the asset pair. So if the asset pair to Bitcoin is at a bottom, if Bitcoin goes on a run, the asset pair is guaranteed to go on a run as well.
Right. So basically, take your trading skills, and if there's a crypto you like, right? We like SWI, we like Tau, we like Solana, etc. But I would say SWI and Tau are my top two altcoins. All right, so everybody got their own personal portfolio and shit, right? And the process is the same no matter what your portfolio is. But let's just rock out with ours. We like SWI and we like Tau. We just did SWI, but I'm gonna go back real quick just so we can and just go back through it real quick. What he's saying is, so take your same normal trading knowledge. We're in an accumulation range. When price is ranging, we want to buy and get greedy at the bottom of the range. Okay. The reason we want to get greedier looking at a SWI Bitcoin chart is because if it's accumulating versus Bitcoin, that means when it breaks out, it's going to be extremely aggressive. When we're looking at charts and doing asset pairs, and we're comparing pairs, or we're comparing assets. The U.S. dollar is something we know the U.S. Hold on. Let's really talk about this. Because this shit's so key, bro. This more advanced talk for real, and this kind of pairing trading and investing together. But if you can make an understanding of this, I mean, it's just really high level shit. So let's talk this, right? So we talking SWI, we talking USD, and we talking Bitcoin, okay? Now we know, just looking at the general performance of these assets, we know that the US dollar is stable, it's supposed to be stable, and is low-key deflating, is low key decreasing in value, right? So the sweet U.S. dollar chart looks something like this. That makes sense. Y'all agree with that? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay. Um, and then we got the Bitcoin chart. We know the Bitcoin chart is bullish, right? Easily, it's a bullish asset. All right. So now when we're looking at SWE chart, we're either gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna try and draw this a little different. Hold on. By the way, just stop me, ask questions if you ever at any point. All right. So what compound is bringing up what we're talking about right now is when we're normally looking at charts, we're always looking at our asset versus U.S. dollar. This is the normal asset pair we're looking at when we sit here charting SWE. And like this is how you even know the value of it. Like, because when we talk about SWE, we're like, yo, SWE's $3 right now, or it's $3.50. Listen to how you say it. You say it's what? It's $3.50, because we're basing it on the value of U.S. dollars. Well, what's the value of SWE versus Bitcoin? Look at that chart right here. It's 0.00000295. That's a hard number to say, but essentially that's the same thing as saying, yo, SWE is $3.50, but we're not comparing it, we're not valuing it in dollars, which we should stop doing in general, because we know dollar is worthless and the Bitcoin is valuable. So if something is valuable compared to Bitcoin, it's extremely valuable. All right, so SWE USD chart, it looks is bullish. It's clearly bullish, and we know that because we expect it to be bullish because we're comparing it to a weak asset. US dollar is weak. Look at the chart for US dollar. So if I compare, it's kind of like, I don't know, bro. It's kind of like I'm trying to come up with an analogy. Um, Before I even do an analogy, is it making sense? I'll use an analogy if it's if it's not clicking, but
Because you really just want to compare everything to Bitcoin, because that's the ultimate, that's king. The US dollar is going out of phase, and people are still trying to compare it just because of old habits and old ways. SWE compared to Bitcoin is going pretty well, so we also know like that's going to be valuable. But if any asset compared to Bitcoin is valuable, it's really valuable.
yes, exactly, exactly. Exactly. And we're still basing things in the value of US dollar, not because it's old, but because shit, that's how we spend money and pay our bills. Until eventually though, and this is us talking foresight and long term future, eventually US dollar cash like Forex and like foreign currencies, US dollars, euros, uh Japanese yen, everybody's paper currency for each country will damn near cease to exist. When I say that, I don't mean it won't exist at all, like, you know what I'm saying, but like it'll be digital. Paper money won't exist. Like US dollar, it's already been digitized. We got USDC. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, hmm.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you about that. So you know how you said you can about comparing to USD? I mean USD and USD is a depreciating asset. What would happen if you compare it towards a stable coin like USDC? Because the USD should be stable, damn near, right?
Right.
But
No,
it's not.
that's
so
a great
what
question.
would change if you did it towards USDC? Because you know that's not going nowhere.
It would perform. It would be a little less valuable compared to it because, all right. So this is what he asking. Let me draw this up here real quick. All right. USDC chart look like this. All right. So just even if you don't know how to chart, just using basic, like I guess like just using our own logic, thinking this through. If I compare SWE to, these are my three options to compare SWE to. I can compare it to US dollar, I can compare it to USDC, or I can compare it to Bitcoin. Just by looking at the performance of how these other assets perform, I can easily say if SWI's gonna be more or less valuable compared to something, right? So like since US dollar goes downward, SWI's gonna have the most relational value compared to US dollar. And matter of fact, I will use the analogy I was thinking. All right, so I was thinking of the analogy like arm wrestling, okay, or if you think about like football players and somebody two. I'm just thinking about two opposing forces, one pushing the one direction, the other one's pushing another direction, right? When we're looking at something like US dollar, this is the weakest. If we were to rate the strength of these assets, we would say USD is weak, USDC is medium, Bitcoin is strong. So comparing it is easy to say because if we compare SWE to USD, it's dominating. That's a skinny nigga versus a swole nigga. That's easy. I already know who to put my money on. I know that SWE is going to easily dominate US dollar. USDC, it'll be medium because USDC is stable, right? SWE's gonna outperform it for sure, but it won't be as aggressive as a USD chart. And then finally with Bitcoin, since Bitcoin is also bullish, now it's like I'm comparing two strong guys. They both bullish and they both strong, but who's stronger? You feel me? And there are waves where there are periods of time, and this goes back to what Compound got us into, how he got us into this in the first place. Comparing it to Bitcoin, we're comparing SWE, which is strong, but we're comparing it to Bitcoin, which is even stronger. That's king. There are phases, and this is what we're trying to time, and this is how we can make really like a shitload of money. And we will make a shitload off of SWE because SWE ain't broke out yet. Because this phase I'm about to explain, SWE hasn't even had it yet. And I showed y'all Solana. Solana did it. That's when Solana ran from $30 to 200 to 200. That's a crazy run. There's a phase or a period of time where your altcoin, if it's a legit altcoin and it's a solid one that has real value, there's a phase where it outperforms Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin, all right, so sticking with the analogy of strong people, Bitcoin's the strongest, but you can't be strong forever. Eventually, Bitcoin might need to take a nap. You know what I'm saying? Take a lunch break. It might need it's you know what I'm saying? It can't be strong forever. It has to relax eventually. That moment where it relaxes, that's a moment where people are basically this kind of gets me in the investing talk crypto waves, right? Tunchi is aware it is. Who else in here? TP, you should be aware of this, and Crypto Guy should be aware of this as well. Bitcoin runs first. When people experience Bitcoin profits, just an investor mentality in general, you want to shave off some of your profits, right? And when you shave off some of your profits, you could either go and spend it on splurge in the real world, put in US dollars, go pay bills, buy some shoes, clothes, cars, splurge. Or what some people do, which is the better thing to do, because they have a more patient mindset, is they'll take their Bitcoin profits and they'll roll it into altcoins. That's that phase of relaxation where they relax on buying Bitcoin and being aggressive and greedy with buying Bitcoin. They say, you know what? I'm satisfied with some of these profits, but I'm not finna go blow it on bullshit. I'm gonna invest it in something else that's more risky than Bitcoin, which would be altcoins, SWE, Avalanche, Solana, shit like that. So that phase when they roll profits from Bitcoin over into altcoins, SWE for us in this example, now SWE is SWE. They're greedier on SWE, so now SWE is gonna like turbo. Their Bitcoin investing is relaxing, SWE investing is getting more aggressive, and that's what we're waiting on with SWE. So now tying this back to this chart over here, we're waiting on SWE to get aggressive against Bitcoin, and that hasn't happened yet, which is good for us, which means we're so fucking early. All right. And the fact that there's a wick that came all the way up here to this level, y'all see this level up here? I'm gonna put a line up there. That means there's plenty money. That means people are willing to buy SWE all the way up to that point, which is great for us. So now going back to Tunchi question, let's see how SWE looks versus USDC. First, I'm gonna pull up USD. SWE versus US dollar. SWE is $3.46. Now, if we go SWE versus USDC, SWE is $3.46, 62 cents. Oh, hold on, I said 62 cents. My bad. 3.4662. Let's pull them up. Matter of fact, I can do the thing where we this one. Oh, I gotta pay for the shit. I'm gonna pay for TradeView again eventually, bro. I'm gonna just open a new tab though, or new tab, Trading View. I don't know why it brought me here. So it won't be a major difference, but there is a slight difference, don't you? So SWE versus US dollar. Try and hide all this shit too. Clean chart. Hide all. So this is SWE versus US dollar, and this is Coinbase. $3.4639. Looking at the last four digits. And we go here. We go SWE USDC. This Binance. I'm gonna see if I can find it first. I'm gonna keep it on Coinbase. That way we keep a couple like independent factors. SWE USDC. All right, bet. So this is the answer for your question, Tunchi. SWE versus USDC is 46.68. If I go to regular US dollar, it's 46.60. So not that much of a difference, which makes sense because the USDC is supposed to be pegged to the dollar. You kind of got me thinking something, bro, because it's like if these stable coins, I guess that's the purpose of it. But I was just thinking, like, because if these stable coins are pegged to the dollar, but the dollar is losing value, how do stable coins hold value? But then that's the whole coding and the coding logic of stable coins in the first place. That makes sense.
And when you think about it, the whole point is also the counter inflation to a certain extent.
Exactly.
When you think about so it's a managed inflation rather than Jerome Powell or
right.
Somebody just making statements. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because these niggas ain't just printing US dollar coins out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that was a good question though. But yeah, Tunchi. So it's pretty much the same because they peg it to the dollar. So USD versus USDC basically damn near the same chart, only off by like the fourth decimal. Yeah, I'm gonna pause right there though. Yeah. Any questions, comments, anything about that? Does that make sense now? For my traders, add that into your bag. It's really only relevant with crypto, but you could let's see, maybe you could use this for stocks. Let's see. I've never tried to compare a stock to another stock, but let's say if we did something like what's a competing industry? Name two competitors, two stocks that compete in the same industry.
Rivian and Tesla.
Of course not. That's why crypto's so dope. You can't even do that in stocks. What I was trying to do is I was trying to compare Tesla to Rivian, like a Tesla / Rivian chart, but that don't even exist. Okay, but yeah,
Try Microsoft to Apple.
I don't think it's possible at all with that because, and you know why it's possible with crypto, because these coins are assets. They're value. They're coins. They're currencies. We're trying to compare two stocks, but you can't compare two stocks because those stocks aren't currencies. They're valued in US dollars. What is Microsoft? To what you said? You said Microsoft to what?
Apple.
Apple. Yeah, not even possible.
About to say they ain't doing those two companies.
Can't even do it. You can only compare stocks to US dollar because their value is based in US based in the currency of the country they're tied to. But crypto, they're currencies themselves, so you can compare them to another currency. That's why you can compare Bitcoin to SWE because they're both currencies. You can't. It's like the thing like you can't compare apples to oranges, right? It got to be apples to apples, and so it's funny we talking about Apple stock, but yeah. So SWE and Bitcoin are both crypto, so that's apple to apple. Stock, Microsoft and Apple and Tesla, those are stocks, and so they're going to be compared to US dollar, which is a currency. You can't compare like stock to stock. But yeah, your question, which is next.
how would you use this in comparison to like, let's say I have 2 to 3 stocks I'm trying to choose between investing in? Would I be able to like use that information to pick and choose which one I should like invest in based off of their value in the moment?
If you're trying to choose between two stocks, like
I,
competing
I,
stocks.
I meant coins. So like if I
Oh,
have Tau, Sweet, and Solana,
yes.
and I wanted to compare them, and I see like Sweet technically giving me the most bang for my buck, but Solana, as of is already sitting at a pretty high, like value.
Okay, got you. After I answer your question, we're gonna come over to this Mar chart. This shit look insane. Um, that's crazy. Uh, but yeah. So what you asking me is this, and what Compound brought up is the answer to your question. Besides, of course, doing your own research, right? Like, of course, you got to still do your fundamental research, read the white paper, use their DeFi, use their products, use their whatever they got going on. That's the fundamental research, right? So that's where you first base off like which one you should invest in. But then if we get in a situation like you got your portfolio, my main stuff, my big three is Bitcoin, Sui, and Tau. So then you like, all right, I got $1,000. Maybe you want to be more aggressive. Maybe you want to take that 1,000 and just go all Sui for this week, and then your next paycheck go to Tau. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to time it. Like, which one should I be greedier on first? You know what I'm saying? Is because essentially, if I'm understanding your question, you're basically asking about timing, right? Like, which one should I get greedy on first and load the bag
Yeah,
up on first, and then like that? Okay, so yeah,
yeah.
um,
About like catching it on sale so you get more value in a sense. You feel me?
yeah. So
Or
so looking at these charts is how you do that. So check this out. So my example, my Sui and Tau, those are my top two altcoins. All right. So the timing is going to come from comparing them to Bitcoin because the perfect timing with my run is, or as far as altcoin, right? Of course, they're going to reading Bitcoin will time it, and we know they'll be bullish when Bitcoin running. But the most profit on our altcoins is when they start to outperform Bitcoin. That's going to be the timing. So we looking here at this SWE Bitcoin chart, and we see SWE is accumulating. All right, so we need to figure out when SWE is going to break out of this, and if SWE breaks out of its accumulation before Tau, excuse me, that's the timing on it. I want to get super greedy and aggressive on buying SWE, and then I'll rotate my profits over to Tau, or well, we could talk that. That's another thing we could talk profit rotations, but um, that will give me the timing. So let's go look at Tau because we didn't look at that yet. Let's look at Tau versus Bitcoin, and that'll help us with the timing.
I was just gonna remind you of that.
Appreciate it, Brody. So, shit, looking at Tau chart. Tau is actually, I ain't gonna say it's bearish because it's probably somewhat of a this might be like a sign of weakness, but either way, this is easy to this easy. If we're trying to choose between Tau and Sweet, go Sweet, go Sweet. As far as timing, and but this makes sense too because we already talked about this, bro. We early on Sweet, but we insanely early on Tau, which makes sense. Tau would be looking like this because people don't know about this shit yet. So me looking at Tau is two perspectives on it. Tau could either be, we could either say it's bearish, or we could say it's accumulating and it is at the sign of weakness. Let me pull up. So y'all already know it's always in the trading school. Always use it for reference. But let's pull up Wyckoff and try and figure out where Tau is in the Wyckoff journey, in the Wyckoff range. So go to pins. If it's accumulating, let's figure out if it's accumulating. All right. So this is an accumulation range, right? So right now, since Tau is at the bottom, and I'm gonna put it on line graph to make it easy to see, and let's change this to black. No, I'm gonna go purple, twin. Red chart trapping. Go purple. Go here with it. Yeah, go there with it. All right, bet. Okay, so this is us looking at tile. Now let's just do. We just matching pictures. All right, so tile hit the bottom, ran up, hit the top, then it came back down to the bottom and pierced the bottom. It pushed lower. So technically, so not technically, so actually, tile made a lower low. Okay, sometimes a lower low can be a deviation of a range, or it could actually be a lower low that's gonna cause lower lows and actually start a bearish trend. We know it's not a lower low that's gonna cause a bearish trend because crypto's currently on a bull cycle right now. So we know that this low was simply a deviation. So let's go compare it to the accumulation chart, which means we are so now looking at this accumulations drawing, we're clearly I'm gonna let y'all tell me where do y'all think we are. And when I'm saying where are we, I'm talking about these acronyms: PS, SC, AR, ST, STN phase B, spring. Pick one of these. Where are we right now?
To like the development team because it's like if they see it,
Oh, shoot.
know if it's
Prolif,
Spring?
is that what's that? Somebody in the background. Oh, that's your background, Prolif.
We on spring?
Prolific, I muted you. Your background was we can hear your background muting. There we go. I was trying to tell you mute yourself, so because when I mute you, you can't unmute. All right, bet. What you were saying, Tucci?
I think spring. Open the chart back up. Or
Okay,
the graphic.
Everybody chime in. This question for everybody.
Yeah, let me see again.
Phase B.
Go back. Yeah, I think phase B, the first one.
Okay, phase B. Where in phase B are we?
Straight right there. ST.
ST. Solid. Great. I agree with y'all. It's ST in phase B. All right, ST in phase B. What this serves? ST stands for second test. Wyckoff, I change a lot of his terms to help me understand it myself. I call it ST in phase B. I call it the sign of weakness. But basically, I call it a sign of weakness because it's a sign. It's a period where price breaks the selling climax or breaks the previous low. So it looks like it's gonna be a lower low, but it ends up being just a deviation. But that's that period of time because we know how traders are. We know trader psychology. When price breaks out, we know there are people who are undisciplined and emotional traders, and when they see it make a lower low, they immediately be like, "Oh shit, it's going lower," and they sell, and they'll FOMO into the sell trade. But now those niggas just became liquidity. That's sign of weakness. It lured them into the trap. Now that we got your money, now we finna send price back to the top of the range. So I agree with y'all. I think we are in ST and phase B, which I call sign of weakness. So I'm gonna label this how I label it. SC standing for selling climax. Copy paste. We got that point, then paste again. All right, so SC and phase B. I would call this my automatic reaction. AR. And then move this last one over. Oh fuck. Move this one over to where we are currently, and we're calling this ST and phase B, but again I call this SOW, sign of weakness. Alright. Y'all with me so far on that? Kinda wanna change the color on this too. Let's go. Shit, purple might be OD. Nah, keep that purple. No, fuck with the purple. Alright. Alright. Hold on, bro. My colors ain't matching. Oh no. Did something wrong. Alright, fuck it. I'm gonna stop. Alright, so, but yeah, so I'm with y'all on that. Selling climax. Boom, selling climax, right? We made it the lowest low, which marks the beginning of the end of a bear trend. We got an automatic reaction, push back up. All right. No, I'm lying to you. Second test, then boom. Okay. Automatic reaction. I think the automatic reaction was actually about right here. This was your second test, and that second test pushed to a sign of strength. I lied to y'all. This is actually, I would call a sign of strength. I'm sorry. This right here was my automatic reaction. This is my second test. So I'm gonna label it all just so for the people who aren't used to Wyckoff, and even if you are you've heard of Wyckoff, you can never study this shit enough, man. It's difficult to get to a point of real deep understanding of it. I think I'm still learning about it too myself, but I'm much better than I used to be. I would call this the AR, and then this is gonna be my ST in phase A. This is ST. This is my second test. All right. So I'm with y'all. I believe this is the sign of weakness. So if this is a sign of weakness, actually, bro, we should. Damn, I'm glad we're looking at this. We should actually get hella greedy on Tau right now, because y'all know the rules. When price is at the bottom of the range, I'm supposed to be greedy. This whole thing down here is a demand zone, right? We should be buying. We should be demanding Tau. So to go back and answer, is he still in here, Prolific? You still here? To answer your question, Prolific, I think we should actually be we should be getting greedy on Tau right now. Either like you can't go wrong. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that, bro. Okay, but we not wrong to buy either one. So this one I'm gonna pull up a sweet Bitcoin. Okay. It's high indicators. Okay. Yeah, before I keep talking or anything, y'all with me? Y'all tracking so far?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, bet, smooth. SZ up here. So to again back, so let's like going back. Prolific's original question was like timing. I like sweet. I got my portfolio, and every time I get paid, I use my paycheck to buy to make some investments. But how do I time it? Like, which one should I be more aggressive on during? You know what I'm saying? Should I be more aggressive on sweet this paycheck or more aggressive on tile for this paycheck? It, I think at this point it kind of depends because now we've talked about the logic of it, right? But now y'all know how I feel. Like once we talk about the logic, it there we goes to psychologic. We've talked about the actual logic. Now it's psychologic, and when we get into psychological, that depends on you as a person. Okay, so Prolific, I don't know if you I know y'all got work and shit, but I don't know if you still locked in. But this my question, my answer directly to you now is this: it's up to you. You have to decide on how you would go about this. I'm seeing this in two different ways. I could say, yo, I'm gonna get more aggressive on Sweet instead of Tau because Sweet might be potentially ready to break out of this accumulation range. Because notice, Price, we know the game, right? When the range is like it's like tennis. It's like a tennis game. Price is supposed to go to the bottom of the range. After it hits the bottom of the range, it goes to the top of the range. Pete, after it hit the top of the range, it pushed back towards the bottom. But look, it couldn't even make it back down here to the bottom of the range. This shows me that this demand zone right here that we drew is getting stronger. In my head, y'all know I see everything visually and like analogies. I see this as like you know how in movies, you know how in movies, somebody be like trapped in a room and water will be flowing into the room, and then the water's starting to flow up and eventually they gonna drown. The water's rising. This demand zone is a level of water. It used to be down here, but now to me, the way I see it is the level of water has risen to the point it's here now. Because look at this, price can't get back to the bottom of the range. It's floating right here. And we know it's actual demand right here because look at this bullish engulfing. huge bullish engulfing candle right here. It's like it's the size. It was large enough to absorb all of these candles, bro. All of this action with one candle. So to me, the level of demand has risen. So I could see it and be like, yo, bro, I probably need to get greedy on SWE first because SWE, if we keep that analogy of the water rising, it's only going to continue to rise. Eventually, the water will rise to the point where it gets all the way up here. And when that happens, what happens when the water risen to the top of the range? Where does price have to go? That's a question for somebody. Anybody? No. All right. So just keep talking then. So if the level of demand or this level of water continues to rise to the top of the ceiling, then that means I have to go above the ceiling to survive, right? Like price will have to break out. That's what that means. Price has to now break out because the demand level has absorbed the entire range. So now this entire range turns into an accumulation zone. I mean, not fault, my fault. This entire range, which is an accumulation range, it turns into a demand zone. All right, and then tying this back in. Let's see, I got my traders in here. Tying this back into my traders. Y'all know this basically just what we just did is we just broke down logically why that fixed range volume profile, why this tool works. And that's how we assess the POC. This entire range will become a demand zone, an area of liquidity. And if it's a demand zone, it'll always hold demand. So once price breaks out, say I build on top of this. Price breaks out of here. Who knows how high it'll go before it retests. It breaks out of here. It retests the zone. This entire range is a demand zone now. So it's going to hold. And then it's off to the moon. That makes sense?
Yo.
Smooth. So it's different ways you can look at it. That's what I was trying to say. All right, so timing wise, I could say, yo, I might need to get greedier on SWE because SWE is the demand level is rising, and eventually, you already know the time will run out to where it flows all the way up to the ceiling, and then price will break out. So there's my timing, right? Or I could look at it like this: going to Tau. Tau is like SWE bended this. Like this little deviation down here to make a demand zone. SWE bended that a long time ago. But Tau, we're so early on Tau, we could be accumulating already now, and we know that price is gonna go to where? Where's price going next? This is prediction stuff, right? Like the prediction is not like no special power or no special skill. I mean, it's a skill you gotta acquire, but it's not that difficult. Where is Tau gonna go next? Give me y'all's prediction. Where is it gonna go next? This is the Tau Bitcoin chart we're looking at. Nobody want to chime in?
You gotta get back to the top of the range.
Easy. All of a sudden, niggas like, yo, TP, you could. This is what niggas be doing. So you go hit Instagram and act like a guru. Yo, Tau finna go to this certain price, going back to the blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, how do I know? How you know, TP? I'm just fire at this shit, bro. I really know. It's easy. It gotta go back to the top of the range. If it don't go back to the top of the range,
Especially because it's already been.
say it one more time.
I said especially because it's already been up there.
Yeah, it already been up there. The only way price don't go back up to the top of that range, the only other option, if price don't go back to the top of the range, it goes down to make lower lows, which means Tau is bearish and we shouldn't even be buying it. We shouldn't start buying until we know that we got some kind of support or some kind of demand zone, and that's what we got right now. Also looking at this, quick. This might low key be a head and shoulders right here. Reverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, take off. We could go even further into this. If we really trying to get advanced with it, you know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't gonna stop me. We could zoom in. If we go down to lower time frames, we can validate, we can confirm if this really is a Head and Shoulders going on. You know what I'm saying? Because mind you, we're on a weekly time frame. We go down to the daily. It should look a little more clear. You feel me? It's clearly accumulating. Clearly accumulating. Price is currently breaking that previous lower high, breaking that bearish structure. This was a, you know what I'm saying? We zooming in for real. We really analyzing this on a zoomed in scale. This was a bearish channel right here. This is everything I didn't show y'all. All together in one. That's a bearish channel. Tau breaking out of this. If it breaks out of this, then it got to go push and break the previous high. Confirms what we saying. Got to go to the top of this range. So, timing wise, you can look at it either way. It depends on how you want to do it. You want to be earlier and play Tau, because Tau is, we just stupid early on Tau. Or you could go play Sweet, you know what I'm saying, because the demand level is rising on Sweet. So that's, my answer is, it's up to you. You got to decide on how you want to play it. You know what I'm saying? How patient you want to be, how greedy you want to be, etc. But you can't go wrong with neither one, because they both gonna go back to the top of their range. But Sweet might break out, and you don't want to miss the breakout. All right, I'm gonna stop there. We talked about a lot, and my fault, y'all. It's 1:20. I need to be respectful of y'all time. Yeah. Questions, comments, thoughts, anything before y'all go?
Great word. Nah, today was smooth. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it, y'all. Appreciate it. Oh, I meant to say this while I had everybody on here. I'm gonna make the announcement. I'm thinking about moving the Monday trap phones, these sessions, to Sundays, cause Sundays are gonna be my content days, and I wanna start posting the content on. I'm gonna start posting that content on YouTube, and I think that these trap phone, which not even I think, y'all have told me that these trap phone sessions would be valuable for, just valuable content. And then for people who be missing it, they can easily just be like, oh, I'm gonna just go watch the YouTube because I missed the meeting. So kind of I'm trying to basically kill a bunch of birds with one stone. So trap phone Sundays, if I do it on Sundays, it'll be 3 to 5 p.m. Let me know how that time sound for y'all. I think that's, but I was trying to catch people before it get too late. Sunday is late, so you got to prepare for school, prepare your kids for school, prepare for work.
Cool.
Like 3 to 5.
Every day is the same for me, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fat. This nigga
Until I get a practice.
This nigga unemployed. This nigga got all kind of time.
Unemployed as hell. Further notice.
So okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do these Sunday 3 to 5 p.m. It might not be the whole. It probably won't be the whole 2 hours. Maybe I might be on here for 2 hours, but if I could just get an hour y'all time, so really I guess it maybe be like 3 to 4. But we'll record, bring y'all questions, and those Sundays we're gonna use that Sunday, because I was already doing this anyway. But Sunday we'll be analyzing the charts and analyzing the markets, and then we'll plan for the week. All right, so we'll analyze on Sunday, and then when Monday hit, we'll place our positions. If our triggers get hit, and if our rules get hit, and then so then we won't meet on Monday. We'll all just, because we already know our plan, and then when Friday come up, like on today, we'll just talk our results, our profits, the stuff that got hit. You know what I'm saying? Like this week was beautiful, bro. Like I think damn near everything we charted up got hit. Sweet outperformed. Like I took profit on Sweet at 3.25. That shit ran up to 3.5. You know what I'm saying? Like market outperformed our analysis, which is good. So, but that's how I want to do it. Analyze on Sunday, pop our shit on Friday. All right.
I like it. Sounds good.
All right, cool. Sound like a plan then. So I'm gonna make that adjustment to the events here on Discord. I'll hit y'all up. I'll tag y'all on Sundays and everything, and I'm gonna try and drop a little message and announcements, because I should have said it to everybody. But all right, appreciate y'all. Good session as always. Shit, man.
Yeah.
Everybody just keep Man, I mean, y'all see what we got going on. I don't know if y'all can feel it, but I feel the momentum. The shit moving, bro, and it's moving in the right direction. We ain't gotta change nothing we doing. We just gotta be more disciplined, more consistent, more patient. But everything working. Everything working, bro. So it's dope. It's dope.